So this is extending to you that the information you give to this committee cannot be used against you in any courts of law in Zambia. But if you elect to mislead the committee, the same will be used in the courts of the law of Zambia if you elect to mislead the committee by information which is not factual. So at this juncture, I would like to invite you to speak to your document, and then we'll proceed as follows. I'm sure you are aware that you only read the audit query, then you go direct to management response, action taken, and remedial measures. But we've noticed that you have tables in your submission. So these tables are self-explanatory. There is no need to go through them item by item. So you just go to management response, action taken, and what you intend to do to resolve the matter. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Let me start with page 1, Appendix 1, Audit Opinion, Management Response. Management wishes to acknowledge the audit reports and qualified opinion on our financial statement as at 31st December 2024. And financial statements were verified and a favorable opinion was given as shown above. Appendix 2, budget funding and expenditure and spent funds, management response. The observation of the Auditor General on unspent funds amounting to 4,134,466 is acknowledged, and we wish to state that the reasons for unspent funds was attributed to the following. 1, receipt of Zambia Devolution Support Fund on 17th October 2024 and the procedure requirements such as clearance from ZEMA before commencing procurement. And then number 2, receipt of Equalization Fund on 31st December 2024, which resulted in expenditure commencing the following year. Then later receipt of funds for Health Department, which resulted in expenditure done in the following year. Then committed funds held in the capital and NASEV account for payment of retirees. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the funds amounting to 3,174,215 have since been spent as shown in the table below. Further, management wishes to report that the balance of 1,008,085 kwacha is for projects work in progress. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to utilize the funds in line with the planned government programs and activities. Page 4, Appendix 4, other deliverables, targets, outputs not achieved. Page 5, management response. The observation of the Auditor General on deliverables for the period under review is acknowledged. However, management wishes to correct the position on 5 deliverables as follows. Council held all the 16 planned council meetings, therefore there was no variance. That the target of 4 youth-friendly spaces was met during the year under review, therefore there was no variance. Then further, 2 environmental awareness meetings were held during the year under review, therefore there was no variance. Furthermore, 4 council patrols were conducted during the year under review, therefore the variance was 0. Lastly, the planned 70% increase in local revenue collection was increased by 72%, which translated to a positive 2% above target. Further, management wishes to state that the cause of query, action taken, and remedial measures on deliverables as shown in the table below. So we have a table on page 6, which is self-explanatory, Chair. And then I wish to proceed to page 7, Appendix 5, under collection of revenue, management response. The observation of the Auditor General is noted, and we wish to submit that the under collection of revenue was due to challenges in communication with clients. Management wishes to correct the position on under collection as follows. council budget for plot revenue was planned at 301,500 premium plots instead of the indicated 742,500. And 50,000 was collected, leaving an under collection of 251,500 and not 692,500 as shown in the table below. Action taken. Management wishes to report as follows. Collection efforts are being intensified in that the council has just procured and installed automated revenue software. Second, demand notices were issued to defaulters. Third, 128,200 has since been a balance of 123,000 kwacha. That also serves as a correction chair on the 173,000 indicated there. Remedial measures. Management wishes to report as follows. Management will endeavor to strengthen revenue collection procedures and regularly review and follow up on outstanding amounts. Management will endeavor to update records and system relating to revenue collection. Appendix 6, failure to prepare valuation roll. Management response. Management wishes to acknowledge the audit findings on failure to prepare valuation roll as at 31st December 2024 and report that valuation roll was not prepared due to 1. LUNTE district has insignificant development for valuation given that the CBD or Central Business District was only established in June 2023 and is yet to be developed. Second, limited financial capacity to be able to undertake valuation exercise and be able to recoup the investment. Action taken. Management wishes to report as follows. Development initiatives to stimulate Central Business District growth has been prioritized. Cost-effective valuation methods and partnership are under consideration. Remedial measures. Management wishes to report as follows. Priority will be given to stimulate Central Business District growth. Then 2, resources will be allocated to undertake valuation once CBD development progresses. Number 3, furthermore, stakeholders and the ministry will be engaged for possible funding for the valuation roll preparation. Number 6, Appendix 13, irregular cash flow, cash withdrawal. The observation of the Auditor General on irregular cash withdrawal is acknowledged and wishes to state that the query was due to internet and mobile banking challenges which affected the activities for CDF, WDC orientation, and CDFC meetings that needed agent facilitation of allowances for monitoring and supervision for internal and external members. However, payments amounting to 144,621 were acquitted. Action taken. Management wishes to report as follows. An accounting software has been procured to enable payments to be automated and paid direct through bank and mobile money accounts of beneficiaries. Cash management policy has been prepared and domesticated to ensure strict adherence to circulars. Further, sensitization of officers and external members has been done and management has since put an end to cash withdrawals. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to utilize the procured automated accounting software for direct and easy processing of payments. 2, and will comply with circular number 1 of 2022, which gives guidance on payments to beneficiaries. Appendix 4, failure to obtain clearance from ZRA before payment. Management response. Management wishes to acknowledge the audit finding on failure to obtain clearance from ZRA before payment of 1,600,221 kwacha and report as follows. Number 1, the clearance was not obtained due to system issues and agency in that no response was received from ZRA. Therefore, management relied on the contractor's tax clearance to make payments. Number 2, management relied on Treasury and Financial Management Circular number MF/101/13/36, which instructed local authorities to be submitting lists of contractors and service providers prior to making payments. However, during the period under review, there was no feedback received from ZRA which made the Council to facilitate payments based on claims from contractors, in that the said contractors were in possession of tax clearance for the period under review. Additionally, the Council was trying to avoid legal implications and delay in service delivery. Action taken. Management wishes to report as follows. ZRA was contacted and companies, suppliers and contractors were resubmitted. Garnish for contractors were received. The Council wrote to contractors, and we have since continued to submit information and details to ZRA for clearance. Payment under garnish have been made. Remedial measures. Management wishes to report as follows. It will strengthen procedures for ZRA clearance before payment, train staff on compliance requirements, implement checks for ZRA clearance in payment processes. Appendix 18, failure to fill vacant positions. Management wishes to acknowledge the audit finding on failure to fill 3 vacant positions and reports as follows. The filling of the position is being handled by the Local Government Service Commission. Number 2, Council lost the health inspector and committee clerk during the period under review. 3, due to budget constraints, the Council is utilizing the services of legal advocate at Kasama Municipal Council, who liaises with our senior legal officers when need arises. Action taken. Management wishes to report as follows. 1, the Council has been updating the Commission through monthly staff returns. 2, Health Inspector. The committee may wish to note that due to the reasons given above, the Council has taken advantage of decentralization policy by utilizing the environmental health technologist, public health officer, and senior environmental officer from the district health office to carry out the duties accordingly. 3, committee clerk. The committee may wish to note that the committee section is currently staffed by 2 assistant committee clerks who are carrying out the works accordingly as the Council wait for the position to be filled. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to update staff returns and submit to the Local Government Service Commission in a timely manner. Appendix 37, failure to service plots. Management, the observation of the Auditor General on failure to service plots is acknowledged and wishes to state that this was due to funding constraint. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the following action has been taken. 1, management applied to access land development fund from the Ministry of Lands, which the status is a signed MOU with the Ministry of Lands for survey and numbering of properties. 2, Council has embarked on opening of township roads using the road grant. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report as follows. It will regularly review plot servicing status, enhance infrastructure development, and communicate with the plot holders. Appendix 41, non-settlement of statutory and other obligations. The management responses. The observation of the Auditor General on non-settlement of statutory obligations amounting to 1,739,533 is acknowledged and wishes to state that this was due to cash flow constraints attributed to low revenue base, and Council monthly revenue is inadequate to cover monthly expenditure. Action taken. Management wishes to report that provisions in 2026 budget allocation have been made towards settlements of obligation to ZRA. Remedial measures. Management wishes to report as follows. We endeavor to improve on-source revenue through community engagement and sensitization and prioritize statutory payments. Appendix 48, unspent funds sector grant. Management response. Management wishes to acknowledge the finding of the auditor and report that unspent funds of 361,576 as of 31st December 2024 were primarily due to late receipts of funds from source, in that the Health Department received funding amounting to 159,702.71 ingwe and 159, 702, 71 Ingwe on December 2024, and no communication was received from the line ministry. Further delays in communication from source when funds are disbursed, making it difficult to know the purpose of the funds for utilization and implementation of budget lines. Action taken. Commitments were made to utilize the funds in the first quarter of 2025. The funds have since been utilized as shown in the table below. Remedial measures. Management will undertake regular review of utilization of funds and endeavor to liaise with source to confirm purpose of disbursement. Appendix 53, Unspent Funds Zambia Devolution Support Program. Management response. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation of the Auditor General and report on the unspent funds amounting to 2,694,737 as at 31st December 2024. This was primarily due to receipt of funds from source on 17th October 2024, time lapse in facilitating ZEMA processes and requirements. Action taken. Management wishes to report as follows. 2,694,737 has been allocated towards the construction of 1x2 classroom block and construction of a hostel block at the Skills Training Center. 2, 1,478,646, 33 Ngwe, has since been spent and the balance is towards completion of ongoing projects. Remedial measures. Management will undertake regular review of utilization of funds and endeavor to liaise with source to confirm the purpose for disbursement. Chair, I submit.
Thank you so very much, CS, for your submission. Honorable members, point of clarifications, if any. Honorable Chala.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I just want to find out from the Council Secretary the Appendix 37, failure to service plot. I want to find out something. I think I heard of you talking about the premium. So I want to find out whether you also include the service charge. And if so, how much? If so, where do you take that service charge? Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Okay, maybe we can go to Appendix 53 on page 15. Unspent funds, Zambia Devolution Support Program. CS, you've submitted that the reason you couldn't submit, use the funds because this money was sent to you late. Okay, there was another part where you, I think on sector funds also, you alluded to the fact that this was time lapse in facilitating same processes and requirements. These are known projects, and before the money comes, you've already decided which projects you are going to implement. But then why not engage ZEMA at the point of decision? When you decide that you are going to use this money for the following project, it is at that point of approval or decision that you needed to engage ZEMA. Why was ZEMA not engaged before the funds came? So maybe you can answer those two questions for a start.
Thank you, Chair. With a question on Appendix 37, whether we do include service charge, and if so, how much. I chair the plot premium that we usually charge does not include a service charge. Basically, this is an administrative charge. Of course, the service charge has to be included, But if we are to do so, the plots will be unaffordable to an ordinary Zambian. So that's why we do rely on the provision that has been made under the Land Development Fund at the Ministry of Fire, at the Ministry of Lands, because this provision also relies on the rent on land that the plot owners would be paying from the time they will get the lease, and that is a perpetual. So that in itself is able to come in to somehow recover on the service charge. Otherwise, we do not include the service charge and the premium. Then on why we did not engage Zema before the funds came. Of course, Chair, this would have been an ideal situation. However, Chair, you would also note that we were just in the process of qualifying to receive these funds. So at the time in 2024, basically, we only learned of our qualification, I think, in the course of the same year, because we were in the infancy of the process on how these funds were going to be dispersed. So LUNTE was just qualified in 2024 to receive these funds, and so all the procedures on preparing the environmental brief to submit to Zema and so forth were done in the same year. But I must say, Chair, what we have indicated is basically what we ought to have done if we had enough time to be able to do that.
Yeah, that is the answer you should have given to auditors. We've just qualified, and then the money has come. So we are not part of the councils that were due to have received the money. We are just lucky. This matter would have been struck off from your station. Okay, CS. Okay, honorable members, any other? Okay, Honorable Chala.
The follow-up.
Okay, follow-up question.
In the same vein where you have advised them on the failure to service plots. For me, I was thinking you were also getting that fee, but you failed to explain to the auditor. You say, no, we don't service, we don't charge them, so we don't have money to service the plot from what they pay. What was so difficult? Because this question would have not come to this meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, honorable members, any other questions? Any other questions? Honorable Samakai?
Chair, I would want to find out on Appendix 13. What is noted here is that the accounting software has been procured. I'm not too sure whether it has been installed. That is on page 9. Yeah, and is there any evidence that the newly accounting software has prevented the irregular withdrawals, if at all it has been implemented?
Yeah, yes, even the connection with the system and the irregular withdrawals, we want you to, on addition of what Honorable has asked, because the query, this is irregular cash withdrawals. So what is the connection between irregular cash withdrawals and an accounting software? CS, you may proceed.
Chair, allow me to ask Director of Finance to come in on this.
Outgoing.
Outgoing, yes.
Where is the incoming? Okay, outgoing. You may proceed wherever you are going.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start to explain with the in terms of the connection, Chair.
Sure, sir.
Yes, the cash withdrawal arises when you have used like an agent to withdraw the cash and come and pay the officers or whoever is a beneficiary. like it happened in the case of CDF committee members. However, in terms of bringing in now the software, it's where now everything is done in due time. If a person has submitted the bank statement and the bank accounts or mobile phone, will be able to transact wherever you are, whether you are in Lusaka or somewhere, you are able to transact and approve all payments online, and you are able to monitor what is happening in the same system. And the same system, Chair, has been installed. That's why we have said this will bring an end to the issue of cash withdrawal, because everything now will be done online. Thank you, Chair.
You are not allowed to withdraw cash on the counter, or do it through the system, Director?
We are not allowed, Chair. The practice is that whatever payments that you are making, it should be done through either bank deduct or bank transfer.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So, Chala.
Appendix 18, failure to fill vacant position. Yes, we know that it's in your submission. It's the commission who wants this issue. But I want to find out whether you have retired officers on your payroll, and also if you have received any extra officer or more officers in one position. Thank you.
CS, maybe before you respond, the same appendix number 18, you are informing the committee that you have these 3 vacancies due to the fact that you lost the health inspector and then a committee clerk. What happened to the third one? Is this lost through death or through transfer or through resignation? And we want to find out what you mean, through what mode of loss. And in the same vein, we want to find out if the health inspector and the committee clerk that you lost, they were on payroll. Okay? Why I'm asking this, because you have said due to budget concentrates, that's why you've not engaged these 2 after losing them. So were they on payroll before? And then you lost them through death or from what means? And then the last one, you are seeking the legal services from Kasama Municipal Council. Is it for free? TC, you may proceed and answer those questions.
Thank you, Chair, for the questions. On whether we have a retired personnel on our payroll, yes, we do. We have one who just retired at the end of 2025, and we are yet to pay their retirement benefits. Then the second question, in terms of loss of officers, yes, it was through death. And then
were they on payroll?
Yes, they were on payroll, the Chair. And so the seeking of legal services from Kasama, whether it's free, basically is a sister council engagement kind of arrangement, where when we call upon the services of the legal services from Kasama, and the officer has to come to LUNTE to provide those services, we do pay what is required in terms of daily subsistence allowances.
So it is cheaper?
It is somehow.
Okay, now we go back to the 2 officers that you lost. And you budgeted for them, isn't it? Yeah, so if you budgeted for these 2 officers, how does the issue of budget constraint comes in? When you lost them, they were already part of your payment plan for that particular financial year. So when you lost them, what you could have done is simply to write to the commissioner to say we have lost 2 employees and therefore we want these vacancies to be filled because they were already budgeted for. So how does this budget constraint come in, sir, if they were already on budget?
Thank you, Chair. I noticed the statement is sweeping and I wish to withdraw as Chair with apology.
Honorable members, the town council, the CS is proposing that he withdraws this statement. We are on page 11. Okay. The query was failure to fill vacant positions. At the time auditors visited LUNTE, they discovered that there were 3 positions vacant. One of wealth inspector, committee clerk, and maybe senior legal officer. Okay. So now the council secretary is saying the 2 vacancies could not be filled due to budget constraints. But the same 2 officers were budgeted for before they died. So meaning this was an unexpected cost. Okay, so I was asking the connection between the vacancy and the budget constraints. Now is withdrawing that statement. So I don't know what is replacing it with. The fact is those 2 officers before they passed on, they were budgeted for. So it could have been very easy for them to be replaced. Okay, so he's withdrawing. So I don't know what statement he wants to replace with that. What is the response now? TC.
Chair,
Council Secretary.
Chair, the first 2 are adequate. The other one, as I indicated, Chair, my apology, Chair, the statement is basically a sweeping statement.
Okay.
Without a clear connection to the matter.
All right.
At hand.
So what you do when you go back, you go and write and request for those vacancies to be filled. Honorable Chara, do you have a further question?
Just on the appendix 14, failure to obtain clearance from ZRA before payment of 1,600,221. Just want to find out whether the officer who was paying this amount was aware that you have to get clearance or he was not aware, but he had to go ahead and make payment without deduction. Thank you, Chair.
CS, you may answer those questions.
Chair,
as we are
allow
down.
me to ask Director Finance to come in.
Director Finance.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the circular, we are given a circular, and in the circular, we were instructed to be submitting the list of suppliers and of services and goods before the clearance from ZRI. Then when the ZRI officers clears, that's when they give us now the feedback. But during the period under review, we submitted and we couldn't get any feedback from ZRI. Later on, when we engaged the ZRI after auditors queried, we engaged the ZRI, who later on told us to say that submission we used to submit through email, they don't accept it, not until we are trained to do it online. So that's how now ZRI came and trained staffs at LUNTE Town Council. And now we are able now to do it online. So that's where the whole issue was. It was between the communication. Thank you, sir.
All right. So as we come to the conclusion of the meeting, I just want to run through the issues that auditors cited you for, which are within your capacity really, honestly speaking. So what was identified are the following weaknesses: an unspent fund due to delays in program implementation, weak revenue collection and absence of evaluation role, irregular cash withdrawals and weak financial controls, unserviced plots, limited local revenue potential, and the accumulation of staff obligations. These are issues that CS you could easily manage with the staff that is available in LUNTE Town Council. And we would like to encourage you to take the following collective measures so that you improve your books and your governance with issues. Number one, you need to strengthen internal controls, okay? And most important one also is to expand your revenue collection base, without revenue you cannot provide the required services to the communities. And you also need to be compliant with financial regulations and enhance oversight of public resources to prevent recurrence of these weaknesses that auditors noted. Now we've come to the close of our meeting, and if there is anything else you want to submit to this committee, you can do so. CS.
Thank you, Chair. I can only appreciate you, Chair, for giving us, having given us this opportunity to appear before your committee, and the insightful advice that you have given to us. And we can only assure this committee that we endeavor to follow through the guidance that you have provided. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. As we come to the end of our deliberations, I withdraw the minute that was conferred to you, and we wish you safe passage back to LUNTE. The meeting has come to an end. Thank you so very much.
Watching Parliament TV, the station dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you. That was a submission from LUNTE Municipal Council, and the council was led by the council secretary, Mr. Jonathan Mwanza. And the council was making a submission to the Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs, which is considering the report of the Auditor General on the audit of accounts of the local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. And in that submission, we did hear that the Auditor General did cite a number of issues, amongst them unspent funds due to poor program implementation, weak revenue collection, and an absence of valuation form. Another issue that was cited was irregular cash withdrawals and weak financial records and service plots. This limited local revenue, and then also accumulation of statutory and staff obligations. So these were the issues that were cited by the Auditor General's office, and the committee was basically here to just explain to the committee what indeed transpired. Well, after that deliberation between the council and the Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs, the chairperson did advise the committee to actually strengthen its internal controls, improve revenue mobilization, ensure full compliance with financial regulations, and enhance oversight of public resources so as to prevent the recurrence of the many weaknesses that were observed. And on that note, that did mark the end of the interaction between the council from LUNTE, that's LUNTE Municipal Council, and the Committee of Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs. So for this part of the day this morning, that is what we have to bring to you, our dear viewers, from the Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs. But just to mention that in the afternoon, we still have some more business in the Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs Committee. We expect to have submissions from Luwingu Municipal Council and Mpulungu Municipal Council. They'll be making their submissions to the Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs, which is considering the report of the Auditor General on the audit of accounts of the local authorities for the financial year ended ended 31st December 2024. Just also to mention that the local government accounts is also taking in submissions from the various councils, and the local government accounts is considering the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. And today, appearing before this committee, Lupososhi Town Council, Porokoso Town Council, and later on in the afternoon, Mongwe Town Council. So please make it time to follow the deliberations as we bring them to you live on Parliament TV. So from me, Mtalife Lesmate, and my sign language interpreters, Jason Manda and Chola Kaoma. For now, we say goodbye, but please continue watching Parliament TV as we have more programming just for you. Parliament TV, dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you.
On the Vice President's question time.
Questions for oral answer understanding order number 76.
A matter to be admitted, it has to be of recent occurrence.
Continue watching Parliament TV.